Today we're going to be talking about All Hallows End and what we can do for gold making. Let us begin. Okay, so when it comes towards All Hallows End, this is a lovely little event that you can make a ton of different types of gold. Number one, you'll be wanting to get a hold of this little currency called a Tricky Treat. Now, Tricky Treats can be obtained through the daily quests and or the one-off quests for this event. You'll gain a nice proportion for this. However, you are able to get more of these by going over towards your faction's inns and picking up the candy bucket, which will award you roughly around about 3 of the Tricky Treats from them, or you can, failing that, get one from the opposing factions, inns and or areas in order to get more Tricky Treats. The one thing that I would actually recommend when it comes towards this is getting a hold of the add-on, the Handy Notes Candy Buckets add-on, as this will primarily give you a ton of those areas in which to go for, so you're not just shooting in the dark. You know exactly where to go to and which areas you've already got and everything to that effect. Along with that, let's jump over towards our rewards for this and let's have a nice little look over at one of these guys. Now you can get a hold of a load of these wands and you've got a load of the masks. This is mainly for the achievements along with a couple of nice appearances for yourself. However, we are gold making related, so aside from all of this, we're going to be wanting to look at this lovely little vendor called Pippi. Now, she is a lovely little vendor that gives us a few different types of battle pets. This is the Sinister Squashling. You never want to buy this one. This one drops off the Headless Horseman for basically nothing, and it is worthless. Literally one of the worthless battle pets in the game. However, you do have a few others called the Feline Familiar, which actually currently is going for around about 55,000 gold, but before this event it was going for over 100,000 gold, or 99,000 gold from the other day, and that's only been 2 days since I last looked at this vendor. She sells all of the battle pets for 150 Tricky Treats, just FYI, and then you've got the Cursed Berman, which is 50,000 gold. However, it was going for roughly around about 90,000 gold. You can see on the region market value average, but I still remember the values on my server as well. The other one is Widget the Departed. Now this one was actually going on my server for around about 130,000 the other day, so FYI, it goes for a decent chunk of gold. But at the moment it's dropped in value and dropped in price for 39,000 gold. And then you've got Naxi. Naxi is a great one. This one actually was going for around about 140,000 gold before the event was actually ongoing, and currently it's at 30,000 gold. And it's at a 0.023 sell rate. Now, the actual thing with this is by getting a hold of those Tricky Treats. Granted, you can get them by using the Candy Buckets add-on, doing the daily quests and all that jazz. That's not too bad. That's really standard and for that event in order to get a hold of them. What you're really wanting to do to make gold in the long term is by holding these battle pets, because everyone is farming them. They're all selling them on the auction house almost immediately because they want gold right now. Now we can either utilize this in 2 different types of methods. We can buy them off of the auction house as they're dropping in value near the event. I would suggest 2 days before the event finishes. So if we go onto our calendar, we can have a look at when All Hallows End finishes. You'll be wanting to have a look at the prices on the 6th, 5th or 6th. I would recommend for buying them out because the prices for these will drop significantly due to this event. And then you can resell them on in about 3 months time for at least double the profit or even more than that, because the thing with these battle pets are they are long term, so I would hold them, wait for the prices to balance back out to 100 odd thousand gold, and then sell them on. My keynote ones would be Naxi and the Feline Familiar, as they're one of the best selling ones of them. And then if you've got any remaining, you can put it into Widget the Departed and Cursed Berman, but realistically I would go for the Feline Familiar and Naxi, which I have already done. I have bought, I have a few in my battle pet bag already. Failing that, you can also farm it up for yourself for pure profit, and that is because you're going to be putting in all of the work. So you could either make an investment right now into buying them out in the next few days or week for those battle pets in order to sell on for a higher price in a few months time. However, you can always farm them up yourself and hold on to them, but realistically I'm looking at this in a long-term perspective, not short-term, and I would honestly hold them for a few months. That's how I would go about doing it, and that's how I am going to go about doing it, and I've already done my investment already because I know the prices will jump back up. This will be the same for like 𝐵𝐻𝐿 with a minion of Grumpus. That being said, with everything else, there are different types of other farms that you can do, and that is the Coin of Many Faces. If we go over towards our garrison right now, as we're traveling over there, this is a toy that you can obtain from WoD. This one can be farmed up. I know Student did a video on it the other day, and it's a pretty standard gold farm in order to do for this event. What you're going to be wanting to do, you can go over towards your garrison, go over towards this lovely person, and then you'll see that you've got the smashing thing. What you're going to be wanting to do for these daily quests is by culling the crew. You'll get given a spooky supplies gift from your garrison, and it will actually take you to that area. So if you see right here where the quest is, you'll be wanting to take out all of the mobs in this vicinity. By taking these guys out, they have a chance of dropping the Coin of Many Faces, which will give you a decent chunk of gold overall for that toy. The same rule applies for long-term sales for that toy, as it is constantly farmed. So if we go over towards the Coin of Many Faces, we can see that it's currently being sold at 655 gold each. The sell rate on this isn't actually that good, but if you hold it, it will go up in value. Now, the long-term play for this is not as good as the battle pets, in my opinion, due to the fact that the Coin of Many Faces is at a 0.05 sell rate, and the market value average for this over the long term was around about 3,429 gold. So you can do this. However, I would honestly just purchase the ones off the auction house and hold it with the battle pets to sell on for further gold, because it's another item you can use to obtain more gold through that. In regards towards doing the quests with the mutinies, so you might as well do the daily quests by taking out all of the mobs in the area for the Coin of Many Faces. If you're going to farm it, you'll be receiving a few of these spooky supplies, which you can then give into the vendor. Honestly, you can just get a spooky supply and then just give it in for a tricky treat by purchasing it that way. And that is probably what I would do, as all of the other things are not really worth it. Unless you're going for those achievements, I would go for the tricky treats, because that gives you more tricky treats each and every day. That being said, that would be my plan, is by literally investing in the battle pets for a long-term play and long-term sales, and for doing the upfront farming cost now. So that being said, for today I will be doing a lovely little farm for the candy buckets while I'm currently working on loads of other things. Other than that, when it comes towards my Patreons, be prepared for the next update of the TSM profile coming out tomorrow, along with a very long video for you guys. Other than that, have an awesome one, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be soon.